And this is the Nobody Talks Shidduch Podcast, episode 27. Does the picture really matter? I'm back with Chani and Yona. Welcome, married couple.
Thank you very much.
You.
So much fun to have you guys. And we're going to get into the ultimate conversation of the first stage in Shidduch dating, which is, getting that resume and picture. And of course, it's all about the picture this episode. Does it matter? Should it not matter? Do you like using photos? Are you reading into it too much? I mean, I will tell you right away, when I'm committed to doing this podcast and I saw a picture of Avery, I was like totally, I was running away after being, no, I'm kidding.
I know, he intimidated you, didn't he?
I was like, oh my God, there's no way I would ever do with this guy. No, but hey, we made it happen.
He's a good-looking dude, Avery.
But that's really the MS of it. And we want to make sure you're going to hear both sides, people who like pictures, people who don't, and those who do, how much should you read into them and everything in that area. So we're looking forward to a great episode together.
You get a resume, and the girl in the picture, she's hugging a koala.
A koala bear.
A koala bear.
Okay.
In the picture.
I have a lot to say just from right there. And then.
So she has a koala in the picture.
You're very proactive, I see.
I'm very proactive. I get right to the point.
Okay.
And you look at it and you say, no, she's not for me. Oh, okay. Why is she not for you? All right. Attraction. Is that it? No, it's not attraction. Oh, okay. So what is it? Oh, so you're sending me these quirky types. I'm like, but no, my wife knows her. She's really not that quirky. Why?
Oh, she's quirky.
Why do you think she's quirky?
This is good.
She went on a school trip. She's a teacher, and she went on a school trip with her students to the zoo, and they had koala petting day, and she got a picture with a koala. And she's not the type of person who sends out a picture, but someone asked her the picture. She's like, you know what? This is the picture I have as my WhatsApp picture. Just take it, send it out. Let me ask you something. If you are extremely anti-koala, I hear. If you're somebody who just hates koalas, then like, okay, fine. This girl, clearly she likes koalas. It's not going to work out. I have a thing against koalas, and I'm just not going to be able to respect a girl who likes koalas. But if you could see yourself petting a koala one day, if you happen to be in the vicinity of a koala, and this girl happens to have a koala in her picture with her, why are you assuming that she's quirky just because she's doing something that you would do anyway?
Well, first of all, that I would do this. He's already judging me. By the way, that scenario was us. I just want everyone to know. This was us, okay?
Some details changed.
I want to hear the ladies soon. But so I think that's two parts to your question. So the first aspect is, first of all, I am anti-koala. Okay.
All right, it's a different story.
They bite. They make all over the. They're not ideal. I have two living in. I grew up with two. Okay.
I have proof in my WhatsApp of you saying that you love koalas. But go on.
Okay, no, I love koalas. I love anything small, fluffy, and that's why I had Avery. Anyway.
I'm going to jump in right there and say
Go
that
ahead.
Specifically with pictures, I don't know how deeply we're getting into that now. It's really important to figure out the source of the picture if you're uncomfortable with it, because in so many cases, it's not coming from the girl or the guy themselves. Either the picture will get lost somewhere in the transmission, or it will be someone who's not comfortable sending one altogether, but the shadchan still gets one. If you feel like the pictures may be a little off, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking the shadchan just out of curiosity. Is this coming from them, or did you screenshot this off of their seminary's Instagram page? Because in that case, if you think it's weird that a girl is sending a picture of herself on a bus with a backpack, that's not necessarily her decision of how to represent herself.
Yes, but with that said, it is totally the responsibility of that person to make sure that the shadchan has a picture of him. Now, given you're right, if it gets lost in translation, okay, Bill Murray, great movie, that's fine. Every shadchan that reaches out to me, we discuss ideas. I say, confirmed, I'd like to go out with her. Let me send you my updated information. Even if I just sent it to them yesterday. I'm like, I'm going to send you my updated. That's the best term to use. I'm going to send you my updated, even though they might have it already. So you make sure you've done your hishtadlus. Here's everything you need. Okay, here are my 3 pictures, my 5 pictures, my 1 picture,
Or no pictures.
No pictures, a whole different shebang for sure.
But that is the most likely to procure interesting, odd pictures if it's not coming from the person directly.
Well, not having the picture is a whole other thing, and I think there's a certain percentage of our audience that doesn't, and it's fine. If you don't, hey, if you don't want to do profile pictures, go ahead. I mean, it's not worth it. But if you need it, and if you just have it, you're raised with it, technology, Instagram, Twitter, social media, TV, people want it. People want to see it. Or, shadchanim are gonna reach out to you with it either way. But that matter, just reach out and let them know. I don't want a shidduch picture. Like, I don't want pictures. No pictures. Send me the resume first. I know I mentioned maybe in the prep that I like to tell shadchanim that first send me the picture. Don't even send me the resume. I don't want to know any information. Send me a picture. Send me a picture first. If I like what I see, hey, I want to know more about her. If I like what I see, meaning she's my look, if she's whatever, I'm attracted to that person, great, we could take it from there. Now, that's not the standard for me, but that's just the way I like to deal with it. Yona, that works?
I think that's fine. I definitely hear Chani and I differ on this whole
Very
picture thing
strongly.
very, very strongly. My opinion on pictures, and specifically on that method, I think it does make sense. You need to be careful though, because this is one of those situations where if you're going to be too reading into things too much and too picky about things and too set on being immediately like enamored with her from the picture, then it's a problem, and then you need to deal with that. I think that if you're going to be honest with yourself, my approach was always this. I needed to see a picture. My luck, someone in Khani's circle sent out her picture. Actually, 2 pictures were sent out without her consent
or knowledge.
Yeah,
she had no idea
when you came on
when
24.
When I told her that I had her picture much later in the dating process, she was stunned. She was like, "What?
How did you get that?
How'd you have my picture?
How did you get that?"
Someone stole them off the family WhatsApp chat.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
so at least it was an internal hit job.
It was an internal hit job.
There we go. It was off.
It was an internal
I've done
hit
that,
job.
by the way. I will say I've because when I'm seeing someone seriously, they might not have those pictures. Or I guess we're getting serious. Like I'll Google, I'll find a picture somewhere. Keep it. Maybe the aunt wants it, the uncle. Avery wants it, and I said, and then they go, "How did you get that? How did you get that picture?" I said, "Hey, it's on the internet, honey. You got a problem? Go contact Mark Zuckerberg."
Yeah. So I mean, I think that you need. My approach was always that I did require a picture. However, when I would see a picture, I wouldn't. I made sure that my attitude wasn't, "Oh, I'm not immediately attracted to this girl. Like, I don't think she's beautiful. That's it. I'm not going for it." No. If I saw potential for attraction, it's like you have to be willing to recognize that the picture is not necessarily a good representative, and certain things you could tell immediately. Sometimes you get a picture and you're like, okay, there's no angle, there's no personality trait that's going to make me attracted to this person, and you could give a no off the bat. But sometimes you could look and say, well, I'm not super attracted to her from the picture, but I see potential. This could be just a weird, awkward shot. Her face is, she has a little bit of a weird expression on. Maybe that's doing it. And if you're willing to be honest about that and to give things a shot, if you see some potential for attraction, then I say go for it. And I think that asking for the picture first is it does make sense, because you're kind of, you're cutting out the research. Like, why do the research and then only to find out, like, yeah, she sounds great, but there's no way in heck that I'm going to be attracted to this person, so I'm going to have to drop it anyway. So might as well get the basics out of the way. The like, okay, is this even a possibility? And once you've established, yes, this is a possibility, okay, tell me more.
I would say the pictures, you can't discount the fact that this is just kind of the society us millennials, coronials, whatever you want to say we're called, we're raised in. But I'm sure that you heard the same story I did when I first started shidduch dating. I remember hearing it from every shadchan. I'm sending a picture because, I was set up blind date with my husband, and I met him, we had a date at Burger Nash in Queens, Burger Nash.
Wow, vintage.
And, across the street, Shmuley's Pizza, Shmuley Heimit's Pizza.
That didn't
And, he went there, I went there. Anyway, finally, I found him, and I almost passed out. But guess what? I gave it a shot, and it worked out. Now, after hearing that story 100 times, I go, oh, my God, it'd be better to just get a picture. This way you don't have to have this whole catastrophe waiting. But I also get the fact that, pictures could be evocative. I think there is a psychological kind of deeper reasoning out there why it's probably better to stay away from and deviate from pictures, or at least too many of them. But I personally, again, I like to have them. I understand people a lot better from seeing a few pictures rather than whatever you're writing on paper. Whatever you're going to write on paper. And like we've mentioned here many times, it's just the same thing over and over again. So why not really put a face to that name?
Right, but that I think is dangerous. I think judging off, you could judge attraction off a picture to an extent if you're willing to be honest about it. But judging personality off a picture, very risky business. You cannot, and you could glean certain things maybe as a maybe. You can glean something as a okay, this indicates that maybe she has a quirky personality or maybe whatever, but you cannot make any sort of judgment, as to definite, I'm not going out with this girl because of this or whatever, unless it's something that's so far out of the box that's just okay. That is just that's just the fact that she even would wear that ever in any scenario is a no for me. The fact that she would pet a koala is disgusting to me. But if you could see a situation where wearing that would be cool, would be fun, in camp or whatever, or you could see a situation where petting the koala, is actually not the craziest thing in the world, then there's no excuse for judging off the picture.
Well, Yoni, you should just know that I am a holistic sociologist.
The heck does that mean?
That's a great question because that's a term everyone uses today. It's a term for every influencer on Instagram that, doesn't have the right licensing or degrees for the sales position they're in, health, fitness. So they say holistic. That's what I am.
Got it.
I'm a holistic sociologist, as you know, and I can judge. I can absolutely get a very solid idea based off of what pictures you're putting out, what you're writing on the resume. I can get an idea of what kind of personality you might be. You might be personality D, E, F, G based off the one picture. Then I might look at another two, and I'm like, okay, she's either this or that. He's either this or that. And that could work, especially doing it for so long.
But it seems like there are possibilities, and meeting that person provides you with the actual ultimate possibility. And my very not humble opinion in the presence of dissenters is that most people are, in my opinion, even if they're not objectively quality people, are still too good to have their dateability assessed based on what they look like in a picture.
I hear. I think it probably helps that you have a shadchan who's trying to sell you. You have references that are trying to sell you in addition. And right, there are some, your overall point, there are just some people who they're not going to bring their full self in a picture. They're just, not photogenic, right? Like I'm someone. Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
I totally missed it. You see, it's a good thing you're married to Yona. It's just, I don't understand. Yona, what is?
Okay, so I and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the point there is that it's not fair for a person to be summed up in a picture. It's not fair to take a human being and sum them up in a picture, which I totally do hear. I think this comes down
He's been
largely.
hearing it for a long time.
I've been hearing it for a long time, and I think it comes down largely to a gender thing. Frankly, I think that the fact is that even though a lot of girls will say, of course looks matter to girls. Yes, of course looks do matter to girls. The difference between guys and girls in general, and this is a generalization, it obviously doesn't apply in every case, but the general difference, I think, is that a girl could go out with a guy that she finds to be hideous looking and then
like
find...
your shadchanim.
Like what?
Like IJ's shadchanim.
Yeah, like mine.
So
boy, do I got stories to tell you.
So like that classic story, exactly. The shadchan was a woman, I'm sure, and
she was
exactly.
Anyway,
so a person a girl can find someone to be unattractive, very unattractive, definitively unattractive. However, she spends a couple of dates with him and realizes that he's the sweetest, most caring guy, and she's exactly what he's looking for. And that will completely change her perspective, and she will become attracted to him as a person. Even if she still may think objectively that he's not so attractive, subjectively she feels an attraction to him as a whole. Whereas a guy, for the most part, can meet. There are gray areas, yes, but for the most part, a guy will be able to tell very quickly that this. And I've had many situations where I've dated girls who were some of my best dates, really amazing people who I connected with and who otherwise would have worked out perfectly. There was no way. There just was no way that nothing about, and they had great personalities, nothing about their personality, nothing about their compatibility would change the fact that I cannot get past that barrier of attraction. I think it's just an inborn thing, and it's a natural thing that's different about guys and girls. And in fact, my Rebbe actually, one time I had a situation where I had been dating a girl for way too long because I was given bad advice, and I spoke to my Rebbe, and he's like, "Why are you still dating her? Why have you let it go on this long?" He's like, "No." I told him, "Well, the shadchan and my mom." He's like, "Okay, let me explain something to you. The shadchan has ulterior motives. Your mom has ulterior motives. I'm sure they both care, and they both want, obviously your mom wants you to get married. Obviously the shadchan has good intentions.
IJ wants you to get married.
IJ wants you to get married. But
incredulous as it sounded,
But the fact is that not only do they have ulterior motives, they are women, and they're not going to understand your the guy's perspective because
amen, brother. Amen. Woo! Amen. We have a lot of fun, cool stuff on shidduchpodcast.com. Take a look at it. Here's an old one. I don't think everyone remembers this one, but this is from Lev Aryeh. Okay, I think it's one of these post-high school programs. It's things not to say on a shidduch date. This video had like over 500,000. It's from like 7 years ago. Check it out. Very funny. Good also, times. Something from Shmooze Live. It was also a few years ago, about 3 years ago. Evolution of Jewish dating. It takes you through like all those years. So you'll see like shidduch dating with the Alta Zaidi, and then the Zaidi, and then the Bubba, and then your parents, and then you, and then it's pretty cool. So check that up. It's shidduchpodcast.com under articles. Shidduchpodcast.com under articles. And we'll be right back right after this.
Hey guys, this is Yonah from the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. I want to take a moment to tell you about I Like Ike Marketing. I Like Ike Marketing serves all marketing and communication needs, including web design, branding, graphics, Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns, logos, social media, and more. To get the full deets and explore their services, go to likeike.net or call 516-399-1000.
Hey listeners, it's IJ from the Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about Greenpoint Podcast Studio. It's where we record. We record there every single episode. It is a beautiful, newly renovated, brand new, right in the heart of Greenpoint in Brooklyn. And it's basically a little bit close to Williamsburg, just a few minutes from Flatbush, Borough Park. If you're in Queens, it's close to there. And hey, if you're in the Five Towns or New York City, it's just a quick 25 to 35 minute drive away. So you can follow them or get in touch with them by going to greenpointpodcaststudio.com to book your next podcast session. When you're putting out that picture, that's what I was mentioning in the beginning, like when you're putting out that information, so let's just say, and Khani, let's just say, just for this scenario, we're leaving all those people behind who don't put out pictures. Okay, that's it. We had the conversation. You want to, great. You don't want to, great. You have some great points. We're not going to argue it. But now we're actually at that point where the person's decided, I'm putting a picture out there, okay? So, like you said, if I'm getting a picture of a girl with a koala bear, I'm going to assume that not only are they in love with koalas, they're quirky. I think that's setting up, that is, you're telling the people something. Whether that is true or not, that's what you're sending out there. Okay, think about it like this. You're at work, you're pitching a project to a potential client. Okay? This is the pitch. You give it to them. That's your one opportunity to make an impression. You know, you might have another one down the road here or there, but that's left in God's hands. And we don't discuss those things on this show. Okay, they're not laughing.
Where's the cricket? There you go.
There's the crickets. No, but seriously, like you have that one chance. And I can honestly tell you from a guy's perspective, even, and I'm not even just giving advice in this scenario, in this predicament here, I'm just admitting, like, it's, I think guys do get a bit insecure, sending pictures. Because, like, wow, how could I compete? Look at that girl. She did it. Look at that. Wow. Or maybe he's seen some other guys, and they put themselves together. So we're trying to go all out. And it could be dangerous sometimes. I've gotten feedback from shadchanim like, oh, those are crazy pictures you're putting out. Like, what, that's too much. And I'm dressed like Will Smith from Men in Black, with the alien gun and everything. And I want to make myself very presentable. I want the girls to like what they see. I want them to like the goods. But I mean, yeah, there's also obviously that issue where you meet them and then you look a little worse. that's also a big problem. That's happened. That could happen. Overall, whatever you're putting out there, like, that's what you're putting out there. So I would argue with you when you're telling me, you can't judge, that's what they're putting out there. You got to put some thought into it. That's what I'm getting. And that's the day. Like, I see you like kangaroos. I see you like you're in an astronaut suit. You're in the Mets. You like the Mets. Okay, if you send me a picture of you with the Mets, great. Elchani had a great point. Look, the shadchan took it from the WhatsApp. Okay, that's fine. That should be stated. That should be stated, and that's fine. But having a response like, well, they don't really do shidduch profile pictures. Okay, great. So that probably, for me, someone who likes pictures, it means it's not for me. Now, would it be different if I met them at a shidduch event or at a wedding or at a drive-by graduation, that'd be different for sure. But we're really just talking shidduchim here. I mean, fair to say,
talks shidduchim.
Nobody.
I think it really comes down to, are you okay with the content of their picture? I don't know how productive it is, again, without meeting that person, to really think so much into what were they thinking when they did this. If something actually rubs you the wrong way, at that point, it doesn't even matter, like, what their thought process were. If this was an intentional, hey, I'm going to show everyone how much I love koalas, or they just happen to have a really good hair day that day. So that's the picture they sent along. I think you need to, worry about yourself, honestly, and think, am I comfortable with this? An example that I thought of is getting a picture of a guy or a girl holding a bottle of beer. And, a person could have an ethical problem with drinking, or they could not. But they might have an issue like, why do they have a picture like this? Why is this? If you're wondering, why is this picture being sent to me? Ask where it originated. I don't think their intentions are as important, unless obviously it's a very extreme picture. But really think about how much are you comfortable with this? Are you going to be comfortable being seen or known to be together with this person if there's something about them that's uncomfortable to you? Just with, like, stepping outside of your comfort zone and going with something that's either unusual to you or that you weren't expecting yourself to go for. I'm sure that a lot of times there's a concern, what if other people see this decision that I've made and are thrown off by it? and are wondering, like, why did he or she decide to go that route with the person they chose to marry? And, you know, people wonder, oh, is my mother or my grandmother going to think I could have done better? If you're the kind of person who's going to be bothered by other people saying those things, some people don't care. Great, you don't approve. Deal with it. But some people it really bothers, and that's okay. And those people need to be honest with themselves. And in that case, say, this level of quirkiness is not something that I'm going to be okay with other people looking at and thinking, why?
I actually have a clip from last episode. I know some of them wanted to make a comment on that.
I personally just don't like the whole picture kind of game. You could look totally different in person from a picture. And I think pictures give sometimes a false representation of who the person is. I think maybe you don't think they're super attractive in the picture, but their personality is awesome, and you could totally see a better light of that person once you meet them. So I don't really like this whole picture game.
Yeah, but okay. So
what other options are there?
What am I supposed?
No other options.
I'm just supposed to go out on a date with the wolf who dressed up as the Three Bears. What was the Mary Poppins? I don't know. Whatever.
What? Goldilocks.
They're pitching Goldilocks and the wolf shows up. I mean, I need a picture. I need to see what is.
I totally agree that there's a good reason for a picture, because we live in the 21st century. Unless you really trust a shadchan that she knows or he knows your type, she knows your type, then you're not going to go by their recommendation, because they may be just trying to get you to go out with somebody. And I'm sure that's happened to many of us.
I'll tell you personally, I have never, ever looked at a picture. If you send me a picture, I will refuse to open it.
Well, that may be the girl's perspective.
Wow, I would never do anything. I have to tell you, I never do anything. I need to see a picture.
Of course.
No, pictures are important,
let me
but
just
don't
say
base off everything on the picture. Like,
no, definitely not. I mean, IJ, would you base all your decisions on the picture?
I love when the shadchan sends me, or the shadchanit, because I deal with mostly with women. So I love when the shadchanit sends me.
I still think they're just called shadchans.
Shadchans, I know. These words. See, the politically correctness is just taking over.
But going back to the picture, so I think that because you've never looked at a picture, or you've never decided to go out with somebody based on picture, that doesn't mean that that's how it works with guys. I think that's more of a girl, female perspective.
Because
they're looking more for personality and less for, how the person, presents themselves.
So as a girl, I think sometimes it's a little tough when you're getting pictures of guys and they don't come off as the same guy you saw in the picture. I have an interesting story that a few dates back, I got a picture of a guy. He had a baseball cap on, and I thought he was cute. I said yes, and it was the first date, and he opened the door, and I saw he was completely bald. I mean, he had a kippah on, but he was completely bald, and I was a little thrown back. And I didn't obviously I can't not go on the date at that point, and I had no idea.
Yeah,
and
you got the picture.
Shadchan didn't say anything about him being bald, and it was a little uncomfortable for me because he also brought it up a couple times, and he was telling me
he
how
was
he lost his
insecure
hair.
about it.
He was insecure about it, and I felt bad, but really I didn't think it was gonna go on a second date after that. I didn't also whatever. It wasn't just the bald thing, but I got a little uncomfortable.
I think I mean, people carry it well.
Yeah,
that's my line. That's what I feel comfortable with. So I've gone out with girls who are more heavy set.
Yeah,
and I understand girls going out with a lot of heavy set guys. I mean, most of the Jewish guys are very heavy set. It's just about your attitude. Just feel comfortable, be secure, don't be insecure.
Yeah,
and just be able to bring yourself and make sure it doesn't come up in any of the topics.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. And now for our next segment, the lightning round. Is it just a quirk or it ain't going to work? Okay, we're dealing with the photo, right? We got the pictures. That's the premise of the episode. So in his picture, he's wearing a pinky ring.
Just like my granddaddy.
Yeah, my granddad too. That's why I put it in there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's different between a guy and a girl, but if I saw a girl wearing a pinky ring, I would have no problem with that.
Well, obviously, a girl.
I sometimes needed to wear it on this finger in the summer.
Yeah, hello. See, I
wouldn't even notice it,
are
frankly.
awesome. Okay, but of course, status quo. It's weird. All right, I gave. I digress. They're by some vegan vegetarian place.
Ooh, that ain't gonna work.
I would want to know why.
It's curious.
That's my honest answer.
There are reasons that I would accept as, acceptable in my worldview, but I would want to know what that reason is.
I agree. That's honest.
So now, while they're in the profile picture, they're also wearing a bib. Yeah, it just ain't gonna work for me. That's just weird.
That's a quirk.
Unless it's a bro bib.
It's a quirk.
The bro bib.
I found from the last segment, also the last time we did this just a quirk ain't gonna work sort of segment, that these, most of these things for me are just quirks because I'm pretty easygoing about this.
You're an easygoing guy. I hear that. But some of these girls, some of these 22-year-olds I've been dating, it's like a mix, a very solid mix. I don't even. They're sneezing in the profile picture.
I mean, why? Those were independent reactions. Why?
I guess it's not going to work.
It ain't gonna work.
Unless it means they're allergic to vegan, and then maybe.
They're sneezing at the other person's
that
profile
just works
picture
out.
with the vegan in it.
That just works out. I love that. They're in an astronaut suit.
That's cool.
That's weird.
Why? Why?
Yeah. Thank you. Finally, someone's on my side. They have a picture of various Rabbanim with them.
Why?
In the picture. So they're
It's like the people who used to decorate their lockers with rabbis.
I actually know somebody like that who has picture. He constantly is taking pictures.
No,
with
you're getting the
Rabbanim.
picture. It's just
It's a little weirder, I think, for a girl to do it than for a guy.
I hear.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. Well, if they have the Rebbitzin in there.
No, the Rebbitzin is that's a different story. But if you're talking about with a rabbi,
You know those cards that people used to collect and put as like stickers in an album?
Yes.
Girls
90s
would like
baby right
get
there.
their brothers' doubles and like wallpaper the insides of their lockers.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, last two. Okay, they're baking.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So if it's a girl, I think, a guy, it's very conventional today. It's like, okay, so it's okay. It's pretty cool actually today. I hear that.
Yeah.
And then last one, the picture's about 10 years outdated.
Get me an updated picture, and then maybe it'll work, or maybe not.
It's over. It's over. It's like, if you can't have, I don't know. I might have to update it.
I mean, a 22-year-old is sending a picture from her bat mitzvah. That's that's a little rough.
I think that's how Avery had it. He's like, who's this Jabba the Hutt looking kind of guy? Anyway.
But what if she's wearing pigtails in the picture?
That's a good question. And I actually like it. I'd be okay with it, but I could definitely see it being a problem. I think most people like it's trended out. It's like in that overalls area. If you're wearing like blue jean overalls, it's a problem. Cargo pants is kind of it's on the border. It's fading out. It's a little tricky right now. That's terrible. I have like 300 pairs of cargo pants.
Oh yeah.
My parents' basement. I have to go
man.
find them actually. So
They'll come back.
I hope they do. If you're not someone who's interested in the whole photo thing, no problem. Go ahead. Do it. I'm not here to shove it down your throat. But if you're someone who is dealing with photos, I think you have to really establish and have that conversation with yourself. Are you someone who likes to pick at the photo, get nitty gritty, go into full detail, or are you just someone who's very chilled? And if you're someone who's very chill with it, great. I think you're set up. The people who are looking into things too much, and that's me, I do that. It's so important to make sure that you don't overthink it. It's not too evocative. I want that profile picture to be perfect, to totally depict who I am, because I'm not just reading this paper up and down and making it like I know so much and I'm trying to convey everything about my life. I think it could happen in a photo, especially with our, technology millennial kind of world. I'm compelled to call out people who don't have it right, or I need more. And I'll bring that up. And we've had that conversation on this episode. Like I will tell you, this is, I need more. I need less. whatever it may be. And at the end of the day, I just want to be with that right person, and I don't want to, like the coffee date, like from the other episode, another one and another one. Of course, do as much as you can, as much research as you can. Kind of try to leave your mind open. If it's really meant to be, I honestly really feel like Hashem's gonna make it happen. Yona, on the photos.
Okay, so my thoughts on photos is I would advise people, yes, if you're putting out a photo, I would advise you to try to make sure that you look your best and make sure that you're presentable and everything. That being said, I think the only justification for photos is because I'm sort of the middle ground opinion here. You're like gung-ho photos, and Khani is gung-ho no way, and I'm sort of somewhere in the middle where I do think that photos are important, especially for guys, but in general, I think that the only way that it is justified, however, is if you're not going to overthink things and to look into things too deeply. I think that if you're going to base too much off the photo, if you're going to be looking for a beauty queen, that you're immediately like, oh, she's so pretty, and from the first look at the photo, you're it's love at first sight, or you're gonna start nitpicking at, oh, but why is she wearing this, and why is she in this setting, and why then I think that there's no at that point, that's the problem with photos. That's where I think that the problems with photos arise. I think that that you need to be responsible when it comes to utilizing photos. I think that they can be a huge asset, but you need to be responsible and not look too deeply into them, not read too much into them, only use them to determine, am I attracted to this person, and not am I immediately attracted, do I know for sure that I'm attracted to this person? Do I think that there's a solid chance that I'm going to go out with this girl or with this guy and feel attracted to them? Is there a shot? That's what I think.
So I agree with most of that. I think that if you're going to use a picture as part of your decision making, it should really be, does this speak to what I am looking for, whether it's attraction, values, what the person is doing, wearing in the picture, where they are, like I mentioned before, the source of the picture, where it came from. Obviously, if they're doing or wearing something that you would not be okay with, no matter what, it doesn't matter where the picture came from. The fact that a picture like that exists is a deal breaker, and that's very understandable. But I would say also, don't read so deeply into the why this and not the other. Why doesn't this match? Why are they with another person? Why are they the only one in the picture? Just worry about your own values and whether or not the picture matches up with what you want, and then meet the person. That's really the most important part if you decide to get up to that point.
Well, I'm happy I met both of you. And thanks for coming on again for another episode. I mean, the fans love you, it just is.
Can we get an applause here?
Yes. Fans.
In our
Thank
face.
you, Yona and Khani. It's been a great ride. And again, this has been the episode, Does the Photo Really Count? And once again, IJ, Khani, and Yona here. And as I usually end off, happy face, smiley face, silly face. This is the Nobody Talks Shidduch Podcast. Alchi's Media Network.